Hello and welcome to the frequency weather for week 29, 2017. I'm Petra and we're going to do the weather this week fully in English. Last couple of weeks we had also other language things, but I think this would work best for this moment, so let's do that. As every week I was already drawing in a live video in our group some cards, some manifestation cards for entrepreneurs. Hello, sweet cat. You want to join? She wants to join. And we already had that one, and you are cordially invited in that group to join us as well there. Then you can see me live and pick them and explain them and see how we can be surprised together when they come up, and ask live questions as well, or place remarks and I can answer them live. So yeah, and here now we can see them, and I have two of them this week. They're both from the Feather series, which is sort of the second series. And since all series in the manifestation cards for entrepreneurs refer to bodily energetic creation fields as well as business fields, as well as artistic fields, etc., life fields, that means that for two feather cards in the second series, and we're talking a lot about this area and also that area and the sides, of course, for this whole week. I worked with the third version again, the first version again, and they look sort of crappy, but I can read messages from them. I mean, I think that's the most important. And currently I'm making the third version. I'm completely in the process of that. The second version is sold out, and this is only halfway. So like this how it is now is only halfway, and then I have to make 57 cards or more, so that's a lot of work. Yeah, maybe it's nice to just for a moment go to the creativity method that I actually use as a basis for all of it. It's called the creative identity method, and it comprises of a lot of things that are about topics around creation, creativity, art, business, entrepreneurship, and the energetic, frequential, I would almost say, background of that. Yeah, and this is one of the core elements of it that you will see coming back in a lot of the tools that we have, and that is the 4-color system. And it refers to a creative process, and the first is the moment, the golden moment that something new gets born and in you, and that might refer to the head area where new information can come in from, or sometimes transhuman information come in from the upper parts of our inspirational fields. And then we have the white part, which is what I just told you, the feather part, where we communicate and we build from that, actually. We have the silver part, and that's where we acknowledge it and we make sure that we do that for ourselves first and then for other people as well. That's how it works. And then we have the moment in the creative process, which is the black moment, and that's where you try to recreate, and meaning first you want to let go all of the things that you don't need anymore, so that this moment can arise that is a blank slate to be able to create again. And these moments in the creative process are also embodied by you and me and all people that are sensitive to this as being someone that likes one of those fields very much more than others, or is more active in one of those fields when helping people as a creative coach, for instance, or an artistic person that has a service for professionals as well, or that kind of thing. And not only do you have, like, I'm a builder with a feather, or I am the opener, but within that you have your personal taste and words for that as well. And it's not only your taste, like let's choose a nice form and I'll say that it is so and we hope so. No, the idea is that you derive that from what you're actually doing and from the discovery process of what you are already doing as a natural creative quality. And then when you come up with that exact thing that is your creative identity, maybe there are two words for it, you know, it's not that we just need one little thing that is so small that it's only that word, but it's of course a conglomerate of meaning, and it can have two words as well. But when we have it, we have your unique way in which you walk that path of your creative process, and you go through those processes, because all those processes are in every creative endeavor that we go through, whatever skill or size we have, whether it's a creative artistic process in making a work of art, or a creative project which you co-create with other people and is more like an event, for instance, or it is a business in which you combine different events and coaching and services into one business, or it is even a entrepreneurial endeavor. That's a bigger skill, because then you can oversee multiple businesses as well and take your role and place in that process, and you're sort of more on a meta level operating, which asks for a great amount of creativity as well. So all of these creative processes you can walk through with your own creative identity, and that's what we're doing in Creative Identity Method. So when we look at the cards for this week that I draw live in the group, then we see and we feel that I had two feather cards, two cards about the field of creativity, that is your senses, and you could say the background of your senses on that part of your body. And I feel it's so much about getting so much more sensitive even than we already are, which might be a funny remark, because I mean, we try to numb ourselves all the time, don't we? To be able to cope with life, or how we think we have to be coping with life, because we believe we cannot, and that the world is so harsh to us. And we, for instance, start eating fatty food and drinking wine and coffee and drinking milk in your coffee to be just numbing our senses out, to be able to deal with our boss that is demanding or pushy, and our colleague that doesn't understand what we are doing, and we feel we have to explain ourselves the whole time, and that just doesn't feel right to us, and it takes all our energy. That kind of things, isn't it? And then we try to numb and think it's normal as well, and that's how we get through the day and get out on the other side of the day and be happy that we made it. And then to say that the message is get more sensitive, that could be funny. But I really truly feel that. I also I did a fast the last 3 months, and in that fast, with no food and no water for 108 days, I experienced, for instance, how when you don't numb yourself with food, how much more sensitive you become, how many emotions you shed and truly let go, because you have to deal with them. You cannot flee anymore anywhere in that sense. And yeah, it freed me up immensely in that way, and I experience an incredible freedom now. And that's only the eating and emotional part of this whole thing, because it has many more sides to it, as you may understand. Not only emotional, but also mental and physical. And numbing ourselves out doesn't only have to do with food, of course, but it has to do with buying stuff for ourselves, with brain fog, with distracting ourselves, with behaviors that are not conducive to our creative process at all, to not being ourselves because we are afraid to speak our mind, speak our souls, speak our emotions, and make another reality around that instead of it, which causes more confusion and more confusion. And how to break all those layers again to get to the true you, that can be quite a project. Well, that's maybe not the thing to say, because of course it's quite a project, and I also made a whole project about 108 days of no food and no water, and it gave me a tremendous amount of freedom added to the freedom that I felt already. But saying that it's a project, that would mean in fact that you do it once and then you're good or something, and it also takes a lot of effort. But the reality is that we're going to do this in an opening sense of ourselves in every moment, and that is really possible, and it's very easy. So yeah, to get on that flow, how you can allow yourself to get open to being more sensitive, letting go what's not needed in every moment and feeling the ease of it, then it's not a project anymore, and it's just opening within the moment. And that's what I truly very much long for, and I want to invite you to feel if you long for that too. And yeah, it could be just very much possible for you, especially this week, to be able to open yourself to that possibility, and getting so much more sensitive, that to go back to the senses, that you can turn your senses, so your sight, your hearing, your speaking and tasting, maybe even your skin and how you feel the air around you, your heart, your upper heart, how you have exalted feelings there, your heart where you have the co-creational feelings that you can give shape in a creative endeavor with your heart in your actions, in your hand actions. And by becoming so much more sensitive in all these areas, that you can let go what's not needed anymore and ground that. So what did I say? Yeah, to turn the senses inward, and then to let fall within your body all the things of those senses and the things that they were picking up that are not needed, and let them fall within you on the ground, in the grounding yourself, so that you can let them go and have a more clear blank slate of being sensitive and a quiet outlook on life. And to be able to do that, I will upload a video that is called Coaching with Art, Coachen met Kunst, that I made already, and I will make it again a bit and change the letters on it, etc. so that it's suitable for now, because I feel this could be the meditation for you for this week. It's in Dutch, and I'm sorry, I will try to put English words upon it, but the thing is, you can just see what I'm doing in 15 minutes and then repeat that, and I am quieting my senses by just placing my hands on my eyes and placing them on my ears very softly, and just feeling what is all in those areas, in clogged up emotions and mental debris that we don't need anymore, that was speaking, and the heart, and action with the hands. And then we go to the heart and just be silent with that and sit with it. And you can do that for a few minutes, sometimes even like something like 5 minutes is enough to ground your senses and get more sensitive. Yeah. So getting more sensitive is the answer, I feel, because then you really feel how you can co-create with other people, because otherwise we tend to be a little bit rough sometimes, and I also am, with ourselves and with other people. And yeah, I mean, that's just not our mission. Our true mission as creative entrepreneurs is to be sensitive in co-creating with other people, to feel our soul first and co-create with other people from that soul. And when we're coming from a personal place, then we can be loaded with a lot of personal emotions, and then we can really hurt other people and ourselves, because we do try to co-create, but it's loaded with personal resentment or whatever kind of feeling, whether it be subtle, very subtle, or very, very subtle. And it still gets in the way of co-creating, the way in the new earth feeling as creative entrepreneurs we are meant to. So I thought we were going to see if we have an additional message. And I used the 2 decks that I used last week as well. I thought they were nice. The mission cards of Doreen Virtue, because of course we have as creative entrepreneurs a mission, and it's very central in what we're doing here with our unique creative identity and which creative process we are walking in life and in projects and in artworks. So we have one, and let's see. Study. Read, research, and teaching help you to gain confidence in and clarity in your career. Okay. So I have to say, the awl is really nice. We have an awl sitting next to a very old and wise angel that is studying. I love the awl. Someone sent me an awl yesterday in a picture. That was Patricia. Thank you so much for that. I loved to feel the feeling of that wise awl, and I enjoyed receiving your gift of just a picture on my Facebook wall. So yeah, this is our study for this week, perhaps, to learn what it would give you to turn your senses inward, and what it opens up within yourself in fields of wisdom that you can add to what you need at this point in your creative process. Because when our senses are turned inward, then we can, for the first time sometimes, truly start to listen to all those messages that come from within and the wisdom that comes from within. To say it a bit stronger, the only wisdom that is truly existing and is ready to be given to you and is ready to be heard by you is to be found inside. And that's how you find it, by doing those, turning your senses inwards so that you can hear it. So that's what we're gonna study. And also study what kind of daily life situations this week will bring you into, or business situations where you can try this out or learn about it in a practical sense, and also do it wrong and learn from that. I mean, that's studying as well. So in the creative entrepreneur group on Facebook, we are studying together. You can put your feedback back in there of what you are experiencing from this, and we can feedback then on that one. So that's a study group as well, a bit, in fact. I also called it a study group at first, but then I felt that sounded a bit too cold, and for now I called it a support group. Also because we are supporting each other, it's an equal effort. And we are now going to look at the Mary Magdalene Oracle of Tony Carmine Salerno. I love it. I got it myself 6 months ago as a present. I think we'll take this one, isn't it? It's called The Secret. That's great, because maybe we will just discover a magical secret by studying all of this next week. It's covered with, it's a vase covered with magical language, kind of like symbols, and they're the Om, the sound current of the creation of the universe, and I see the horizontal 8, so that's for infinity. So the sound current that creates within the universe is indeed something infinite that we can always tap into, and that is always present within us too, and that is reachable by turning our attention from the outside distractions to the inside, without closing ourselves off to the outer world. That's a good thing to add. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be that person that co-creates with the senses turned inward and still looking around. We're not trying to stay in our houses and never come out again. That's not the idea. But yeah, then we can also give a place for that magical creative sound current that is the basis, the frequency of creation itself within our personal form and within our lives and within our human interactions. That's the whole idea, isn't it? And that means that we're getting probably a hint of where you did not feel that universe backed you up. There might be a new surprise in where the universe does back you up. Because a lot of situations or topics in life or business or arts, we don't feel in a direct line with the sound current of the universe. But the process is to grow those two towards each other so that they can kiss each other, and there is a continuity between the actual creative power that is in the core of the universe and those fields in your very personal, unique life. And yeah, I feel that there could be revelations there. That also means that there are changes in your personal life where something suddenly changes into a more harmonious state that correlates with the center of the universe sound current. And I congratulate us with that because it means getting more whole, and I think, having a magical week. So let's see what that brings for us. And I just wish you so much love and co-creation, and my compassion is with you. See you next week, or in the group if you want to join us. Please feel free to do so, and I'm happy to welcome you there.